On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And we're coming to you live from the North Pole, Geoffs.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. If you don't, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, happy Honda days, whatever.
Oh, whatever. How we doing, Santa?
Well, we're doing great because all of the Geoffs have been so good this year.
Oh, that is so great. You know what? I heard that you've been naughty, Santa.
Well, what are you going to do about it, Dixon? Is that one of the names? Blitzen.
Blitzen.
Who's Dixon?
Honey, that's your type of reindeer.
And that is homophobic.
No, it's just the truth.
God, I cannot believe it's already the end of the year.
I know.
Is it? Hold on. It is.
Yeah?
Our last episode of the year.
No. Because this should come out the 23rd.
And then we're not doing the following week.
Yes, so it is. It is.
It's our last episode of the year.
Oh, my.
Well, we got to go out with a bang.
We do.
Not like last week's Dumb Criminal, though.
No. God,
May he rest in
sad.
peace. I know. I literally did. I was listening to it back, like that part of it, before we uploaded the episode. And I was like, damn. Because I really did not know until that moment when I saw that second article. And I was like, oh, he died.
Ooh, he died.
Well, let's steer away from that. We got to steer the sleigh.
Yes.
Away from that. We're going to be coming down all of your chimneys tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not.
No?
Well, would you take Mrs. Claus with you on a work trip?
Madison's having an asthma attack right now.
Having an identity crisis. God.
Oh, God. No, I really do love this time of year. Here, specifically where we live, we very briefly get the cold.
It is freezing.
It has been like 50 at night. And
people listening in other states and countries are like, fuck you guys.
I mean, I wish it snowed here. I'd be happy.
Oh, I know.
We're not complaining. We love the cold. I was out to dinner last night.
Actually, you're lying because in another episode, you said that you couldn't deal with it if you had to live in it.
I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to grow, and I'm allowed to evolve. So stop putting me into a box because I'm not a present.
Okay.
Be present.
You're definitely not.
Oh, well, put a bow on this, you bitch.
We have had a giving each other middle fingers, telling each other to fuck off kind of day.
But all from a place of love.
Oh, please, we don't care. We don't take it seriously.
Well, speaking of cold, honey, I have been fighting off a cold.
I know.
Well, I didn't actually fight it off at all. It got me. It won.
Still have it, I think.
No, I'm over it now. I just still, like, my throat is still just like a little hoarse.
Mm-hmm.
Little hoarse.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I got to report on Cold Corner. We are not getting away from the sicknesses this year.
No, but you weren't too sick to go get a Christmas tree.
I was not, and luckily I had you with me, girly, because you hoisted that tree up over your shoulder like the mountain man of my dreams, carried it to my truck.
I did. Everyone was looking. You were like walking like, I have my hot dog, my 7-pound chihuahua, and I had a Christmas tree on my shoulders.
She looked like Santa Claus.
I truly did.
It was a nightmare trying to straighten out the tree.
Oh my God. She was living on a prayer.
Oh.
She was leaned almost through the window.
A leaning
Yeah.
Christmas tree.
Yes.
She wanted to get out.
But we finally got her straight.
We set her straight.
We did.
We punished her. I cut off some of
did.
her limbs. I had like a knife. I was like, get off of it. We were both sweating by the end of it. Our friend Melodrama texted me this morning this amazing article. It says family exhumes grandma after 10 years, shocked by her appearance.
Why are they shocked?
Listen. I have to read you this and then wait till you see the picture. So this article came out on the New York Post a while ago now. It says, she was still drop dead gorgeous.
Oh my God, love her.
A family in the Dominican Republic exhumed their grandmother nearly a decade after her burial, only to find the corpse perfectly preserved.
Get me the number of that embalmer.
Listen, when Margarita Rosario was dug up at La Colonia Cemetery in Jarabacoa, she was found to still have a head full of hair, some skin, and enough bones to be able to stand with little support, relatives told Jam Press. A video shot outside the graveyard shows a man holding the corpse up while a woman dresses her in a white nightgown. A small group crowded to watch the aftermath of the exhumation, some of whom captured the scene on video. Local residents also expressed shock over how well Rosario had been preserved. She was a good person in life, that's why she is still preserved, offered one local, while another awestruck citizen noted the body keeps standing up and everything. Intact, incredible skin, as if the years had not passed, chimed in a third. Others were not pleased the family disturbed their grandmother's rest.
Why did they?
Now let the poor grandmother rest. Who knows? I mean, we know there's lots of different cultures. There's lots of different ways people do things. But I'm going to show you her. And I want you to see.
Honey, don't get me the name of that embalmer. Nope. That's a 10-year-old corpse. That is a 10-year-old corpse.
She said, wow!
Why is she screaming?
She said, put me back. Melodrama texted it to me and she said, perfectly preserved. Excuse me, her nose is gone. And I said, come again?
Her nose is she's on her way to just being a skeleton. Oh, poor lady. Beautiful.
Stunning.
Stunning.
A Christmas miracle.
Oh my God. Jesus is real. Wow.
Love it.
Love her. Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of Christmas miracles, remember I said you were on the naughty list?
Yes.
I have a list of some bad Santas.
Let's hear them.
Okay, from ET Online. Santa and his big secret. Another mall Santa was let go this year after he told a 9-year-old that Santa wasn't real. When Sophie Robinson went to visit her local Santa in the UK, as her mom claims, she got to the front of the queue, and the man dressed as Santa turned around and said she was too old to visit Father Christmas. Next, we have Santa and his personal space. A mall Santa in Maine was fired in 2012 because he kept making kids cry. Parents flooded the mall's Facebook with complaints like, he made my 11-year-old son cry, basically told him he was being greedy. One parent even said Santa put his hands across his lap so my daughter couldn't even sit on his lap.
He said no.
Santa and his designated biker. The year before, another drunk Santa caused a different scene outside of a mall. When he puked, face planted, tried to ride away on a bike, face planted again, argued with a cop for over a minute, was handcuffed, and eventually taken away.
I love it. Nothing's ever going to beat the dumb criminal. Remember when they intercepted the children's letters to Santa and he wrote all the letters?
He was writing like, Santa's not real, kid.
Yeah. Your mom's a slut.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
the best.
The last one, Santa and his not so festive shots. That same year, police in Berlin reported a man dressed as Santa was offering people shots of alcohol in a paper cup at a local Christmas market. One 15-year-old girl accepted, immediately started puking, and was rushed to the hospital where a blood test showed the drink had been doused. 8 others experienced similar incidents.
Oh, like they drugged it?
I guess.
Oh, because I was going to say 15. By 15, you should be able to hold a shot at least.
Oh my God, I could hold a lot.
Could hold a 5th. Oh my God. Love it. Some bad Santas for sure. I have an email that someone sent us.
Okay.
We just have so much stuff.
I know.
I'm just trying to get it all out. Okay. It's about Glory Hole Gary.
I love him.
Yes. Your grandfather.
Oh.
Your great-grandfather, Glory Hole Gary.
My great-great-great-grandfather.
Your favorite Christmas story to tell. No,
My parents used to tell me this before bed.
It was your nursery rhyme.
Yes. Glory hole Gary, glory hole Gary, he is not scary. Glory hole Gary.
Oh, God.
Oh, those are the days.
To hear it one more time.
I know.
This person sent us an email that said, "Hey girlies, found this cute story you might enjoy about a true hero from my city. No doubt council will erect a monument to honor Gary at one of the public toilet buildings. Love the pod. Cheers, Kate." This is from qnews.com.Australia.
Is this one of your QAnon websites?
Yeah, it's my favorite QAnon website. It says people are mourning the gay elder who made Newcastle's glory holes.
Oh, what would we do without him?
A gay Newcastle man who purportedly installed glory holes in gay beats throughout his region north of Sydney has passed away, according to a local. A Newcastle man has taken to Reddit to say he was friends with the man who has died, who he referred to as Gary. The old guy that used to make the glory holes throughout the region passed away, he claimed on the post. I won't use his real name because, that'd be weird, so we'll just call him Gary. Mrs. and I met Gary when we moved into our home a couple of years ago. We struck up a friendship with Gary when walking past his yard and patting his fluffy little dogs. After getting to know us a bit first, Gary went on to reveal that it was he who pioneered the installation of glory holes throughout Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, Central Coast, and certain parts of Maitland. Gary made it his mission to install cock sockets in the beats of the regions so no curious man's penis would need to remain dry. The man recalled Gary had told him that he'd begun the public service in the mid-1960s. In recent years, a lot of Gary's work was undone just as soon as it was installed. He was uncertain if any of his dick slots still exist to this day, he wrote. I personally have only seen one in the entire 22 years I've lived here. Gary was a quiet man with no family at all, just 3 fancy little dogs and a lifelong passion for meeting men in public bathrooms. I just want to put something out there for a man who was, in many ways, an underappreciated part of the city's infrastructure. And then people were like, in the replies, like, rest in peace to a king. When's the state funeral?
Oh.
Put this in a museum.
I was like stuck on Glory Hole TikTok for a while. And
Okay, me too.
You were?
With that one woman.
Yes, and she like showed the whole glory
But she had
hole setup.
Okay, but she had like a curtain that she was using that had a huge hole in it.
That was only in, I think, either her home or the place she would rent for these.
That's like a temporary
Yeah.
And she used like a tension rod to hold it up. And I was actually also melodrama. I think she had been texting me those videos.
Really?
They're on blast right now. And we were dying laughing because we're like, imagine the tension rod falls down while you're doing it. Like, how embarrassing.
I see you.
It just hits you on your head. God.
Yeah, but I never heard about Gary. And you know what? If you need to go to a glory hole, fucking do it.
Do whatever you want.
Love that.
It's a free country.
Yes.
Just don't get caught because it's a crime
not a free
in
country.
our country. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, nothing says the spirit of Christmas like remembering and paying homage to Glory Hole Gary.
Glory be.
Glory, glory.
Glory hole.
Glory, glory, glory hole, yeah.
Glory, glory to the highest. Gary.
Rest in peace.
I could cry.
Are you guys tearing up right now?
I could cry.
What have we turned into?
Oh my God.
Next year, we're going to enter our...
Glory hole era?
No, we're going to be in our, like, reserved era, where we only are talking about professional topics.
Yes. Oh my God. I loved that email. I also have an email from a Geoff, but we are not going to say her name because they said in the email, don't use my name because I don't want to get sued.
Okay.
So we already know it's going to be a good one.
Fair enough.
Good morning, Madison, Spencer, and all of your fur babies. I've always wanted to write you guys, and the last episode finally gave me the push. You mentioned a skunk and some raccoons. Well, I am a funeral director / embalmer. I have a pet skunk and I help with wildlife rehabilitation. So I am often caring for baby raccoons. Spencer, I swear to God, if you ever get the chance to bottle feed a baby raccoon, it would change your opinion. With that being said, I have pet chickens too, so I understand. Speaking of animals, I have a weird, funny, sweet story about a cat. I met with a family for funeral arrangements, and the daughter of the deceased came in with a garbage bag. She puts the bag on the table and tells me that she wants her mother to be cremated with this. I then learned that her mother had dementia, and she had thought her toy cat was real. She would feed it and everything. The daughter takes the toy cat out of the bag, and it's covered in cat food and God knows what else. No judgment at all, just let the woman live. I placed the cat in the casket and scheduled cremation. After a week, I see the guys from the crematory. They proceed to tell me that the cat was meowing right before cremation and that they were petrified to open the casket. Here's the creepy part. I took the batteries out.
What? That is scary.
Isn't that scary?
I can't think of an explanation. I'm like, was it hot where she was and maybe it made the toy make a noise? I don't know. Creepy.
Well, she was getting cremated.
Well, yeah, it's pretty warm.
Pretty warm.
Toasty.
Yeah, that is just scary.
Bizarre. Well, since it's Christmas time, I thought I would do some Christmas-themed Am I the Assholes? This first one says, am I the asshole for telling my parents I won't attend their Christmas celebration until they send my husband a separate invitation? Wait for this. This is fucking insane.
What?
I'll preface this by saying that my husband, Luke, 32-year-old male, does not get along with my parents. You can't tell who's right or who's wrong. There's always this ongoing tension between them, but can be civil enough to sit together at one table. I recently got an invitation for a Christmas celebration from my parents. The invitation included me and Luke, but Luke thought that this was somewhat rude and disrespectful because he believes he should get his own invitation and not have his name mentioned as an extension to mine. We talked and he said that he wouldn't go unless they sent him a proper invitation. I called my mom and asked if she could do it, and she thought it was ridiculous and said that she and dad did the same with my sister and her husband, and I told her it was fine, but Luke can be sensitive like that.
Oh,
and so,
please.
And so a simple invitation in the form of a text directly to him would fix it. She got defensive and said that Luke is being ridiculous, and my dad claimed that Luke is trying to pull some power move to humiliate them, but I thought this was a small issue. They thought it was ridiculous, so I told them I won't attend if they don't send him a separate invitation because he won't attend if he doesn't get it. This blew up and my sister started arguing, saying Luke needs to get over himself, and shamed me for trying to force our parents to send him an invitation by saying that I won't come if they don't. We haven't talked after that and we're waiting as of now. Am I the asshole?
Yes, Luke's the asshole too. That
Girl,
is so wild.
You need to ditch that Luke-zer.
Who does he think he is? The Queen of England?
No, he's a narcissist and so controlling. You need to fucking run, because only a narcissist and controlling person would be like, no, your parents need to send me my own invitation too. And if they don't, I won't go. It's fuck you. What a
The
bitch.
fact that you are even writing to get suggestions or to, you know, like you got issues too.
Because it completely contradicts after hearing it all. The beginning when she's like, you can never tell who's right or wrong when they're arguing. And I'm like, baby, I bet we could. And we all think Luke's ridiculous. And your ass is ridiculous too. Clown, assholes, bye. This one says, am I the asshole for calling my wife unreasonable for backing out of spending Christmas with my family after my mother rejected her cookie sample?
No, Eddie.
These are like nightmarish. This says, for every holiday, my mother would ask the women in the family, my sisters, sister-in-law, my wife, my female cousins, to send samples of the desserts that they plan on bringing to the celebration for testing. And to see if these desserts could make it to the food menu.
Oh, all of you need to stop taking Christmas so fucking seriously.
My wife has been complaining about my mother deliberately rejecting every dessert sample she sent. So many times, my mother has told her that she's being honest and keeping the guest's best interest at heart. Yet my wife still thought that my mother is deliberately excluding her since 2 of her dessert samples were rejected before. For this year's Christmas, my mother is doing the same thing, but this time she told every woman who are participating to make a cookie sample and send it to her for tasting. My wife took it as a challenge, and to be honest, she worked really hard to make a good sample and sent it to my mother days ago, and the results came in yesterday. You gotta be kidding me. I came home from work and found my wife upset. I asked what was wrong, and she told me that my mother rejected the sample she sent and decided to exclude her baking from the food list/menu for Christmas this year. I didn't know what to say, but she then told me she was backing out of the invitation to attend Christmas with my family. I was stunned when I heard her make this statement. I tried to talk to her, but she said it was done. I called her unreasonable to decide to bail on the whole family over some cookie sample, but that's just freaking crazy and quite unreasonable. You don't think it's unreasonable that your wife has to submit a sample of a dessert that she would bring?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
I would not want to attend that Christmas.
I don't blame her.
I want to be able to stuff my face, sit on a couch, open gifts, drink a little too much, have just a fun time and not fucking worry. Honestly, if you have good drinks at a party, you know, if you're not sober, if you partake, I told you I ate a sandwich out of a trash can in Vegas. I was drunk enough.
What
it doesn't fucking matter.
It's a normal weekend night for you. Stuff your face, sit on the couch, and throw back some drinks. I love it. Okay, wait, hold on. It says, we had a full-on argument about it, and she stated that my mother caused this, but I told her that my mother is pretty serious and careful about the food she offers to the guests, since we are going to have relatives coming from all sides of the country. She told me to stop mentioning it. Later, I heard her cry, despite telling her that her baking is amazing and people have preferences, that's all. Am I the asshole for insisting that her decision was unreasonable?
Yes, you are the asshole, and your mom's an asshole.
He added for context. He's like, my wife wasn't the only one whose sample was rejected.
This Christmas.
The mother did not force anyone to participate. It was up to whoever wanted to take part. And this is just about dessert. And it says, update. Great. So I just got off the phone with my brother, and he told me that his wife is doing the same thing as my wife and has decided to back out of the invitation to spend Christmas with my family as well. I love this so much. They're coming together
hell yeah.
Fuck this. It's us against them. Turns out my wife must have told her about her decision, and she decided to follow her lead. My brother's pissed off, saying my wife's encouraging his wife to do this.
What weirdo
These are the
family.
guys who think they own their fucking wives. They want the Stepford.
Well, look at the mom.
Uh-huh.
She's kind of that way.
She's a Brie Vandekamp who has caused some issues.
No, but Brie Vandekamp would be gracious.
It says, I see that the problem has just gotten bigger now. Who knows? My younger sister might join in and decide not to go as well. I don't know how this got out of control so quickly. I guess we'll try to have a discussion with my mother about this soon and see how it goes. Yeah, Norman fucking Bates, have a discussion with mother.
With mother. Do you remember, I don't know if you watched Real Housewives of New Jersey, but in one of the earlier seasons, Melissa brought sprinkle cookies to Teresa's house, and it was a whole season-long thing about Teresa fucking threw them out. She's like, I can't believe she brought sprinkle cookies. And I think it was Christmas. It just reminded me of it, how ridiculous.
I mean, I don't think there's an issue with being particular if you're hosting a party, but I think you just make it clear nobody needs to bring anything.
Mm-hmm.
We've got it all covered. No one needs to bring anything. But if you're
that controlling too, like the mom is down to a cookie, then yeah, you probably shouldn't ask anybody to bring anything.
The mom's delusional, and so are the sons.
Yeah, weird Norman Bates for sure. God, piss me off.
Thank God we don't have to deal with that.
I know.
Families, I know some people that have to deal with the most nightmarish Christmas situations, running around doing this. And I feel like when I was younger and maybe when everyone was alive in my life, I did have to do a lot of running around during Christmas time. You go to this person's house for this person's house for this. The one tradition I will say that I've loved every year, I think the only year we didn't do it was last year and maybe the year before, COVID. Every Christmas night after dinner, because you know how after Christmas dinner, it's kind of like, that's it. Like, it's over. And there's a little feeling of like sadness almost. My parents had this tradition where all of the neighbors and like some friends would come to their house late on like Christmas night and have hors d'oeuvres and like champagne or like drinks or whatever. And so we've still kept doing that every year, which I think is really...
I love that.
That's probably like one of my favorite...
Yeah.
traditions, because you have to, this is like a thing, I mean, to bring it into the show a little bit, when somebody dies, especially if they're like the matriarch, things change. Like, it was my grandma forever, it was like the one who hosted Christmas, and then it was my mom forever, now it's turned into my sister, so we still have that, but it's like, it is weird how the traditions shift over the years.
Oh, absolutely. I know. Well, not to bring it down, but it kind of goes with this show. When I was like 12 or 13, my grandma died on Christmas Day. And
on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day. So we spent Christmas with her dead and us sitting around her bed. But then every Christmas after that, like my mom used to host it, and then my sister started hosting it. Then my other sister started hosting it. Now my brother hosts it, but we always go and look at Christmas lights after. Because there's like Christmas Tree Lane and all that. And it kind of keeps it like, okay, we still have some time, and then New Year's rolls around, and that still feels like Christmassy, and then it's time to get down to business and have some resolutions.
We need this. New York, we need to make it right for last year and make it good for the next year.
Exactly. Set us up for success.
Well, and also, I mean, but once people start having kids and stuff, like, I'm sure that like your sisters with their kids, like they started taking over. And my sister, who's pregnant, is, she said I could say it on the show.
We're so excited.
We are so excited. I've been like having to bite my tongue anytime like kids come up.
Okay, now we can actually go back when you flipped someone off.
Oh,
it was heightened because Olivia was pregnant.
Yeah. Someone just wasn't looking when they were driving. That was part of the reason I flipped them off, and I messaged them and I was like, my sister's pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so she is pregnant. She's due in May, but I'm so excited because this is the first of any of my siblings having children, and it's going to be so fun to have a baby Geoff around that I can just pretend parent and then hand off.
But wait, something really special is her
due date is my mom's birthday.
Oh, that makes me cry a little.
I know. I'm so excited. And she's not finding out what the sex is, which I love.
My sister did that too, and it's such a cool thing. It's like,
my mom did it with all of us. She was like,
really?
I don't want to know what any of them are, because she's like, it's the only thing that you can be surprised
by.
But I have a feeling it's a boy, so we'll circle back in May and
I want to say I could picture her with a girl. So I could
picture her with a girl, and I've always thought she will be like, I mean, she'll be the ultimate mom anyway. She's like craft queen. But like, for some reason, I feel like it's a boy. She does too. She's also accurately guessed everyone else's, but she's like, maybe because it's mine, it's different, but...
Okay. You know what? My sister with her first baby, they didn't find out the gender until she was here. We all said, you're having a boy. The way she carried her, like everything. And she's like, I really feel like it's a girl. And it was a girl. So
why was I like sitting here and I'm like, what was it? But I know all of your nieces and nephews. I'm like... I've spent holidays with your family.
Wait, I have a Christmas story. My nephew, my husband's sister's son, one year, and we always talk about, my husband and I always like crack up about it, because he went to go see Santa with his brother, and he was like excited. He was ready to tell him what he wanted. He gets up to Santa, fully chokes. Not literally chokes, fully chokes on like his plan. And Santa's like, what do you want for Christmas, little boy? And he looks at him and says, I like trees. So we walk around the house sometimes like, I like trees.
I like trees. All right.
Well,
you're up first this week.
Yes, which means you have a side bitch.
Boy, do I. And I got a picture to go along with mine, too, which I always love. This says James Stanley Cervenka. Dad, it's been 4 years since we lost you. I still and probably always will think of you when I hear popcorn popping, a Nat King Cole song, see a perfectly manicured lawn, or an old classic car. You loved life, you knew how to laugh, along with making others laugh. I will never forget your prank phone calls to the neighbors, and even to your graduating class some 40 years later. I know you're up in heaven with Mom, having some drinks and a lot of laughs. Miss you both, Mary Kay. Which I thought was just so sweet.
It painted a picture for me, I'm telling you.
Well, this picture.
Okay, but hold on. Popcorn popping, a manicured lawn, and Nat King Cole playing in the background. And a classic car in the driveway.
You know what? Goes to show, make sure that when you guys are writing obituaries that you add some descriptors like that, like their
Paint a
favorite
picture.
song.
Yes.
This is the picture with it.
I love that.
We don't even need to say it. Just go to the Instagram.
Go to
and see it.
Instagram, yes.
Also, I don't know what the fuck happened when the episode went up today with Spotify.
With Spotify, well, you know what? I always check. You upload the episode and schedule it, and then I go on and do like the Instagram post. And I always check the podcast app because I don't have Spotify yet. I'm gonna.
She is making the move. She's making the move.
I'm making the move, but it wasn't up for like 45 minutes, which is weird.
It was weird.
And then I saw the comments on Spotify that you were responding to about it not being up.
I thought I was logged into the obituary account.
No, you were.
No, but I responded, I realized later on my Instagram.
Oh. How weird.
I know. So weird. But yeah, that's our side pitch, and I loved it.
Love him. What an angel.
Painted a happy picture.
Yes.
All right. Well, should we take a little break and get into some coffin spinners?
Let's do it.
We'll be right back. All right, Mrs. Claus, what had you spinning in your sleigh this week?
All right, Santa. Well, we have covered some funeral entertainment here on the show. I mean, who could forget Spencer's funeral stripper stories? Or when he introduced us to funeral clowns?
Oh.
That's as entertaining as it gets. I have a few more funeral entertainment options for you, Geoffs, that maybe you've never thought of. And I know I hadn't.
Well, I'm excited for this.
It was a wild ride researching this. So let's start off with the dancing pallbearers. So this came about, I was talking to my brother last week. We were on the phone and he was like, hey, which is so funny, the things that people bring up to me now.
Uh-huh.
You know, like he would probably never bring this up to me before. He was like, have you seen the pallbearers that dance while they're holding coffins? And I hadn't, so I had to look into it, and it's exactly what it sounds like. They are dancing pallbearers. While I was researching it, apparently their videos kind of went viral during the pandemic because they would get kind of cut into different memes.
Okay.
I'll show you a video, and Geoffs, you can YouTube it.
Also, just in case anyone doesn't remember, isn't familiar, the pallbearer are the guys who hold...
Thank you.
Or anyone, the people who hold up a coffin on the way to a funeral.
And like, you know, in a procession and
Before
whatever.
you throw the body with all your might into the hole in the ground.
Yes, exactly. Or have to pry off bars and stuff it in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently this stuff went viral. I'm always literally so late to anything viral, you know. Like, I'll say something that was cool to say a year ago.
I don't know. You got COVID pretty early on, and that was viral.
That's true. That is true. That's about the only thing I got. These pallbearers are originally from Ghana, but they perform all over and are locally known as Nana Otafrija pallbearing and waiting service, and also known as Dada Awu. The group was founded by a man named Benjamin Idu. BBC did like a 2-minute documentary on them, and in it, Benjamin says, I decided to add choreography to it, so if the client comes to us, we just ask them, do you want it solemn or do you want a bit more of a display?
Oh, honey, give me the display.
Okay, well, I have to tell you. So most of the time, I feel like a pallbearer, you kind of pick them, special people in the family.
Yeah, or they're like, if it's like a teenager, usually they'll have like the high school football friends or whatever.
Right, but you can actually hire a service that are professional pallbearers, and this service just adds a little extra oomph
Well,
and entertainment.
I saw you holding up my Christmas tree, and I said she could hold my coffin by herself.
I absolutely could, but I'll get into some horror stories. You wouldn't want that.
Okay.
I fucking love this, Spencer. I think it's the coolest thing. I am not lying. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And I'm going to show you a video. And before I show it to you, I'll just kind of describe it if you obviously, because you can't see it, Geoffs. The pallbearers are dressed to the nines, as I feel like any pallbearer should be. They take your coffin to wherever it needs to go, and there's typically like 6 pallbearers. I've seen some that have 4, some that have 8, and they lift the coffin up onto their shoulder, and then they dance a full choreographed dance.
Whoa.
Okay.
I love that.
I saw one that I'm going to show you of them marching down the street and then lifting the coffin onto their shoulders, then dancing some more, then getting on their knees and crawling with the coffin on their back, and then laying down on the street, still dancing with the coffin on top of them. It's a full show with music perfectly synced to their choreography.
I'm obsessed with this.
Okay.
Okay, this is fucking rad. Look at them go.
Look at they're crawling.
Like breakdancing under the casket. This is sick.
I think it's so cool.
Okay, why do I want this?
So do I.
Maybe I do want a casket.
Look at marching down the street, dancing. Here's another one.
They all look so cool too.
They're dressed to the nines. Like, how do they do that?
It's like a street performer.
It's so cool. Not only are they putting the fun back in funerals, but Benjamin, and this statistic is from like 5 years ago, and I'm sure it's a lot higher now, has helped with the unemployment levels in Ghana because he employs about 100 men and women as dancing pallbearers. And also, Ghana, hello, the Ghana funeral caskets we've talked about.
Yes. Oh, Ghana
They've
has
got
a
it
lot
fucking
going
right.
on.
They've got it right.
Ghana's funeral culture, beyond.
Beyond. I would love a collaboration, though, between a fantasy coffin and a dancing pallbearer, because I would die if I saw like a hot dog casket being danced down the street.
Ugh.
I'd love it. I will say, let professionals do this. I saw multiple videos where there were only 2 pallbearers or more, but they were just super uncoordinated and sucked, and not related to Benjamin's troop, that were leading a procession with the coffin and fucking dropped it and the body rolled out. People were screaming. Women were collapsing. I'm going to show you that. Okay, they're starting off strong, having a great time. Look at that guy's like salsa dancing with it. Okay. Spinning it now. And there she goes.
Oh, no.
Okay, and then there was one more that was just tragic. Spencer, this one looked bloody.
They look professional, though. They look like they've done this a million times.
Mm-hmm. Is that blood?
Oh, no. I don't know what is going on there. That is something. I guess I would be so embarrassed if I fell out of my coffin at my funeral.
I know.
And you would, you little klutz.
It'd
be like Madison's last ankle.
Totally. Oh, I rolled my ankle yesterday, by the way, while I was walking the dogs. Okay, so we've got the dancing pallbearers. Now, you could also hire a DJ, a funeral DJ.
Oh my God.
I personally have never attended a funeral with a DJ, but I was so happy to find out that this is a pretty normal occurrence. So much so that some disc jockeys make a living off the dead. One example of this is John Headley. John Headley is a British DJ who owns the company Spirit in the Sky Entertainment. And he has been interviewed a lot about his line of work. Vice covered his story and referenced his interview. He started out in the 90s when he had a mobile disco service, which I love. I love the sound of
Yeah.
that. Then he went on to do normal DJ gigs, weddings, birthdays, and numerous parties. He one day received a call inquiring about his DJ services, but the person calling informed him that it would be for their mother's funeral, and they wanted to really celebrate this woman's life, and they threw a party. All of her favorite songs were played and they fucking raged. He keeps the music almost always upbeat and happy and leans heavily on the 80s classics. He says that his punchline for getting people to book a funeral is, "I'm taking deposits now." If you go to his website, spiritintheskyentertainment.com, the landing page says funeral DJ for funeral entertainment, for wakes entertainment, for funeral.
A tongue twister.
A riddle.
He needs a cool DJ name. Are you kidding me?
I know.
You could be DJ Bunny Bones.
DJ Wake Up.
DJ, that sounds like a QAnon DJ.
Oh, yeah. You sheep. It goes on to say, go out with a bang with Spirit in the Sky Entertainments. Say your goodbyes to loved ones with music that they loved, treasured, and partied to. Spirit in the Sky Entertainments will make sure your loved ones will be remembered for the fun-loving person that they were. All bookings respectfully acknowledged. And then he says this in that same interview that I thought was really important. He says, quote, "It's hard to explain. For 99% of the day, everyone is laughing and really enjoying themselves and happy. But obviously towards the end, there's a few tears going a little bit because that's it. It's finished. They're going home. It's when you go home and you close your door and you're on your own. That's when we all have to deal with grief when we lose a loved one. It's like a release on that day. It's like a closure. Then you go home and you start dealing with the grief," which I think is well said because
Yeah.
it's like when everyone stops sending cards and
Oh, yeah. I
gifts
talk about that all the
and flowers.
time. Like,
yeah.
the second that the chaos is over, it's like, who's still around? Like,
Yeah.
who's still checking in?
Right. I also, looking into funeral DJs, stumbled upon an article that said funeral turned rave. A woman named Caddy, it's Katty, so I think it's Caddy, passed away and all of her loved ones gathered in a cemetery in the UK to attend her funeral. And there's video footage online of this whole thing. I'll show it to you, Spencer. But all of the mourners are outside on the cemetery lawn and there's a DJ booth there too. And then all of a sudden, music starts blaring and everyone starts dancing their hearts out and laughing and having a great time. And apparently these were Caddy's wishes. She wanted everyone to dance and party at her funeral. She didn't want people to be sad and mopey, so that's exactly what they did. There's like a big DJ booth set up on the cemetery.
Oh, I love
lawn.
it.
A lot of people loved it online. A lot of people were upset because they felt like they were being disrespectful to the surrounding graves and like dancing on the graves. So I don't know, but entertaining.
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay, I think this one might be my favorite though. No, Dancing Pallbearers is, but you can hire a magician for your funeral.
Oh, please.
Okay. From topclassmagic.co, they have Woody the magician writing about his experience being a magician at a funeral, and I just thought it was amazing. It was magical.
Oh.
He said, "It's always been a joke among magicians that we're thinking about moving into the funeral market. So you can imagine my surprise when I was contacted by a lady asking me to perform at the wake of her mother's funeral. At first, I was thinking a magician friend of mine had told someone to wind me up, and I was thinking about going down the lines of, so do you want me to saw the coffin in half? Do you want me to do cards for the corpse? Do you want me to contact the dead? Like, what do you want me to do?" But there was something genuine about the girl's voice, and although laughing, she said they wanted to celebrate her mother's life, and therefore the color black was banned. There would be music and a party afterwards. So a price was agreed on, and the gig was booked, and I turned up nice and early. So I turn up, walk past the balloons, and check with the staff, and sure enough, I was in the right place. When the guest arrived, I met the daughters, and both were bubbly, cheery, and delightful. As no one knew who I was or what I did, it was time to introduce myself to the first table, and there was no other opening I could use other than, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Woody, and I'm here to put the fun into funeral.
I love it.
It's just one of those lines that you have to convince yourself that there's an autobiography in every one of us. And in mine, there's a chapter dedicated to weird gigs, and this currently sits at the top. The gig went well, people laughed, clapped, and I ended up doing about 4 hours. I was even hit on by possibly the campiest man in the world, which we'll just say was an experience. His overall experience, he said, when you have me at an event, you have a special event that will stay in the minds of everyone forever as, oh, that was the event with the magician. With the funeral market, it's basically exactly the same as a corporate or a wedding. People are dressed up, they have a few drinks, and they meet people they haven't seen in a while. Where it can and does go differently is that you can either have a sad funeral or a happy one. We all mourn differently, and if by me being there kept everyone upbeat and happy, then I've done my job. Thankfully, I made a difference in this girl's life, and I'm only sorry that I never met her mother. She sounded absolutely amazing. Rest in peace, Babs.
Aw.
So, you never know what you'll find at a funeral.
You never know.
I'm going to talk about one last thing, but I do have some honorable mentions. You can hire a bagpiper. You can hire a gospel. You can hire a poet.
Bagpipers, I think, are really common.
Common, yeah. Sad. Beautiful, sad though. You can hire a poet. You can hire a comedian. You can hire a face painter. And you can hire a photo booth to come. A little entertainment.
Why not?
But then I came across funeral games. When I was researching this, it was more described as like, hey, you can hire a scavenger hunt company and make it fun, especially if kids are there and gear it,
cemetery.
I guess, gear it toward everything the deceased loved, which I thought was kind of special.
That's kind of cool.
I thought it was sweet, and I think I would maybe want to do that. Maybe tie in the dancing pallbearers. Somehow.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the scavenger hunt, you get to them doing a full routine with my coffin. I think that's cool. But the more I looked into funeral games, this history dates back centuries, and it's not what I thought. It's called funeral games, and we can look all the way back to ancient Greece for this. Funeral games were held to honor a deceased loved one. These funeral games included athletic competitions like wrestling. Something interesting about funeral games I read was from thoughtco.com, and I'm sorry if I butcher some of these ancient Greek names, but it says, in honor of their father, Marcus and Decimus Brutus held the first gladiatorial games in Rome in 264 BCE. The Pythian games celebrated Apollo's slaying of the Python. The Isthmian games were a funeral tribute to the hero Melicertes. The Nemean games celebrated either Hercules' killing of the lion or the funeral of Ophiletes. All of these games celebrated death, it says, but then it continues to explain how the Olympics were most likely started as a celebration of death.
No shit. The 5-ring Olympic that we know?
Yes.
What?
I do want to do an episode one day on deaths at the Olympics because that came up and that was wild. Yeah, those are some entertaining things that you can do at a funeral.
Well, I found it very entertaining.
Good.
And we'll be back to entertain you all after this quick break.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you dancing in your coffin this week?
All right, girly Geoffs. We all know that grief is very complicated. It can be so consuming, and the mental toll that it causes can feel just overwhelming, like it's just going to burst out of you sometimes. On this show, we've talked about a plethora of grieving practices from humans to animals and ghouls alike. We've learned that there are so many different traditions, from birds burying their loved ones, people making keepsakes out of their loved ones' remains, and then perhaps the more extreme, like the Hindu practice of sati, which you so graciously talked about in an episode where widows would sacrifice themselves on top of their deceased husband's funeral pyres. And I think we can all agree there's no limit of available options when it comes to death customs. So without further ado, today I'm talking about ritual finger amputation.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
You know, I was thinking about my fingers this week. Sorry to make it about me, but I have always been told I could be a hand model. Swear to God, Spencer, don't roll your eyes, I swear. However, due to some recent weight gain, my fingers look like sausages and I can't get my ring off and it was hurting really bad.
What'd you do?
I just took some Tylenol, but
You still haven't been able to get it off.
I can't get it off. So maybe we'll just have to cut it off.
Your finger?
Yeah.
Well, you might. So this tradition, the ritual finger amputation, is typically associated with the Dani tribe of Papua New Guinea. From 7ponds.com, quote, "The experience of grief is an intensely physical one. Grief is often accompanied by sleep disturbances, loss of appetite, digestive disruptions, and cardiac problems. There are cultural practices around the world that believe intentional physical pain is an important part of expressing the emotional pain of grief and an essential part of the mourning process. The Dani tribe, who live in a town called Wamina in the Cyclops Mountains of Western New Guinea, traditionally performed a finger-cutting ritual to express the physical pain of grief. Though the practice is now rare and, in fact, officially banned, ikapalin is a finger amputation ritual traditionally carried out by females of the tribe after the death of a loved one. Ikapalin symbolizes the pain of mourning and is performed with or without tools. Before amputation, a string is tied around the upper half of the finger for 30 minutes to cut off circulation and numb the finger before cutting it. And after the finger is amputated, open sores are dressed with leaves treated with traditional herbs in order to stem bleeding, prevent infection, and aid in the formation of new calluses on the tip of the remaining part of the finger. It is generally a close family member who performs the amputation." So basically,
Wow.
this is something that's done
I have the chills.
by the women of a tribe after losing someone like super important. Wow. And I found this super interesting. So I started looking for more information on the spiritual meaning of it. And I learned that it's believed that the practice of amputation or ikapalin both gratifies and drives away the spirits in addition to the use of physical pain to express one's sorrow. So some people believe that like by doing this, it's kind of like an offering of sorts, like be gone. I was also wondering, like, what happens with the finger? Like, the fingertips, do you
Lord, I didn't think about that.
bury it? Do you put it in a little mini casket? A miniature tombstone? Imagine it's like a thimble.
What finger is it?
I don't know if it actually matters. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure there's significance to certain people, but from what I've seen, and I've seen some things, people can do it multiple
Willy-nilly.
times. Yeah.
Got it.
I think it's a little willy-nilly.
Oh, multiple times.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God, I would be trying to keep everyone around me alive.
Oh, God. Well, according to gizmodo.com, the fingertips are actually cremated. Quote, "The leftover piece is then dried and burned to ashes or stored in a special place." But I think typically more often than not, yeah, they let it dry out and then burn it so it turns into ashes and then
Wow.
there you go. It's been done different ways throughout the decades. In ancient times, sharp stones were used to forcefully break the phalanx. The nerves and muscles died from a lack of oxygen and the dying portion of the fingers fall off if you just tie it up and leave it, or if you break it and just leave it. Which, going back to make it about myself, remember when I was telling you, like, when I broke my toe, I read that you can get an infection from it? I think that's kind of what can happen. Like, if you break something and it, like, cuts off the blood supply or whatever, it can lead to an infection or whatever. I don't know.
Any Geoff nurses or doctors?
We don't need them. I actually know everything.
Oh, perfect.
I'm just kidding. No, please let us know. Some people also cut off ears as well. And other options include smearing themselves in the river sludge for a week without taking a bath. This means that the dead have returned to nature.
And don't want to be around you. You probably stink.
I read a pretty story from the Jakarta Post that said, I'm probably butchering the names, but Kiwiraik Logo, a woman from the Dani ethnic group in Wasilimo village in the Usulomo district of Wamina, Papua, was busily piling citrus fruits into a plastic sheet on the ground. The maimed fingers of both her hands made it difficult for her to hold and grip the fruits she was selling. When she was born 65 years ago, Kiwiraik had no physical defects. However, owing to the finger-cutting tradition practiced by the Dani people, a practice they call small, ichapalin. Her left and right fingers, index, middle, ring, and little, were amputated one by one at different stages of adulthood, leaving only her thumbs. Keurig self-imposed deformities have left their mark on her. Her disfigured hands mark a long history of loss. The loss of her fingers represent her loved ones who have died, leaving her alone. I cut my fingers when my parents passed on. I did the same when my husband, 3 children, and other close relatives departed this life, she revealed.
Holy, so how many fingers does she have? Just a few?
Yeah. I mean, she still has, like, partial fingers.
Oh,
but there's
like tips. Where
yeah,
cut off.
it's
Okay,
the
okay.
tips that are cut off. But it really makes you think, because I'm like, I mean, granted, this is somewhere else, but like, there's so many different cultures that we have no idea what people are doing. So,
I know.
I mean, when you notice something, I mean, sure, lots of people have birth defects and stuff, but it's like, it really shows like you never know the story. Like if you ever saw someone reaching for flowers next to you at Trader Joe's and they're missing the tip of their thumb, it's like, who knows? They could have cremated the tip of it because their husband died. Like,
totally.
It's just really, that kind of stuff always blows my mind. It really makes me think about society as a whole, which is probably a good thing, and how we should think is like,
it's not just about you and your daily
and what you're used to.
Right. The world is big, and you, honey,
you heard, quote it. Hold on, quote it, guys.
The world is big, and one time I was having a very serious conversation with my dad. I was like a teenager. We were like trying to have a heart-to-heart or something. Okay, you know how people usually say like, life is short, do what you need to do, and whatever, try to better yourself, whatever. He was like, listen, life is long. So you know what? The world is big and life is long. And open up your mind and learn about different cultures.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you.
Okay. And so that's where I was going to leave it. But, you know, one thing leads to another. And you're talking about pinkies, you're talking about thumbs. Like, what else? I started unintentionally learning about, like, limb loss and grief that comes along with losing a limb.
Oh.
And it's very interesting because you hear sometimes, like, people who have had to suffer some sort of amputation talk about, like, phantom limb feeling. Like, it feels like it's still there sometimes, or they still feel pain. It's really, really interesting because you don't realize, like, how much, again, learning about other people, like how traumatic that probably actually is for that person, and like the grief that you would have for that, which I'm sure is the same for a lot of disabilities, like losing your vision or losing your hearing.
Absolutely.
Like grief, I can't even imagine. I read this one article and it had like coping strategies for new amputees, which most people probably wouldn't read that article unless they were looking for that information. And it says, if you're experiencing grief or even battling clinical depression after limb loss, know that you are not alone. Many limb loss survivors go through this. It doesn't mean that you're weak in any way or that you're being negative, and it doesn't mean that your situation won't get better in time. Why does grief often accompany an amputation? Well, feelings of grief can arise from any kind of meaningful loss, and the loss of a limb certainly counts. In the case of amputation, the absent body part itself isn't the only loss you suffer. Amputation also leads to many other kinds of losses. I mean, there's like obviously the physically, but then it talks a bit about the emotional effects of losing a limb. So there's obvious things like body image concerns that people have afterwards, and you're just having to like deal with kind of
your
like
daily routine is so different now.
I mean, obviously depending, and it's circumstantial, and it's harder probably for some people than others, but that doesn't change the grief. You probably still have the same level of grief. And it says there's 5 steps to coping with limb loss grief. The first is to recognize your feelings, which I think we talk about a lot when it comes to grief. Not holding negative feelings in and expressing them, like talking to people about it, focusing on the journey. And it says as you work towards physical rehabilitation, you might hear that it's the journey towards recovery, not just the destination that counts. For patients coping with a serious injury and the loss of a limb definitely counts. Rehabilitation can be a journey of hundreds of baby steps. Grief is a process rather than a single event. You can't rush yourself through the process of coping with a life-altering loss. There's something called the Amputee Coalition, where basically they bring people together to provide people with resources that have suffered from some sort of amputation or going through grief around an amputation.
Wow.
Yeah, it just talks about like the different depression and things that can come along
grief.
with it. Yeah. And I was wondering, I'm like, well, probably a lot of the people who were participating in these finger rituals probably don't have necessarily grief for the loss of the limb, but I mean, hearing like the one woman that we were talking about, like she lost the tips of so many of her fingers. It's like, that's something you see every day. And you're like, damn, like these are all my lost
I'm sure
people.
It's complicated because on one hand, it's such an honorable thing, or it was. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, I don't have anything on my other hand.
Shit.
You know, like it's just a whole new normal.
Yeah. Really, really thought it was interesting, though.
Very interesting. Thank you. Truly, this world is small, but it's big. You know what I mean?
Enough. God damn it.
Riddles.
All right. Let's move into some obituaries.
All right. I have an obituary that was sent in by a Geoff. It says, "Hey, beautiful people and puppies. I just want to start by thanking you both for making my workday more enjoyable with all the laughter and commentary. I'm sure my coworkers think I'm unhinged by the amount of laughter that squawks out of my office every week. We love that. Never stop being exactly who you are. I've gone back and forth on if I wanted to share any of my spooky stories or those from my upbringing in a cult. But with the holiday season upon us, I figured I'd share something a little different. Send the cult ones to Spencer for some little leaders."
Please, Spencer at cultleader.com.
So in 2019, I found my uncle passed away at his home. That is a whole other story. Oh, you actually found him.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry.
Geez, I'm really sorry. And I wanted to share his slightly unconventional funeral with you both. And there's an obituary coming. For most of my life, my uncle took up the mantle of Santa. In my very biased opinion, he was one of the greatest. He was one of those people who fully embodied the spirit of Santa, and in the small town he lived, he was known as Santa and not his actual name. So when he passed, they knew they had to honor his death with how he lived as Santa. I am attaching a couple pictures of the funeral and one of my favorite pictures of my Santa. Also, I am sending this poem that was read as a eulogy by a fellow Santa. Side note, a funeral full of Santas was quite interesting in its own right.
I love this so much.
That is one picture I wish I would have gotten. So I'm not going to read the eulogy. It's beautiful, but we're going to stick to the obituary that she attached. So she said, the first image is the obituary from the funeral. And yes, Santa School is a real thing. He also belonged to a Santa society. The second image is Santa's urn featuring two of his custom suits. Though he was cremated, he was buried with his Santa hat and his sleigh bells.
Really?
Yes. And then the third image is her favorite picture of him. So look at this is his.
I want to see. Oh, I love it.
I'm going to see if she'll let me post him. Amazing. Look at him. That's him. He literally is Santa. Are you kidding me?
I'm obsessed.
I know. I'm obsessed with him. Okay, so let's get into his obituary. Floyd W. Santa King, 72, of Lachine, passed away Friday, October 25th, 2019, at his home of an apparent heart attack. Floyd was born on February 23, 1947, in Alpena to the late Harold and Charlotte Smith King. On October 7, 1967, he married Bonnie Lumsden. Floyd was instrumental in starting Little League baseball and softball in Long Rapids and later helped coach softball in Alpena. Floyd was a volunteer on the Long Rapids Fire Department. His true passion was bringing joy and laughter to children by putting on his Santa Claus suit and attending many parties throughout the area for the past many years. He received his formal Santa training and received both a bachelor's and master's degree in it.
Oh my God, who knew there was such a thing?
That is crazy. I love that. Surviving are his wife Bonnie, 3 sons, Harold, Shannon King, Rick King, Bob, Juan King, 3 grandchildren, Madison, Aaron, Abigail, 2 siblings, Richard, Judy King, Pamela Slater, several nieces and nephews. Mr. King was preceded in death by brother-in-law Edwin Slater, brother Terry King, and stepfather Clarence Schultz.
Beautiful.
I love him.
I love him. I love a Christmas-themed funeral.
So do I. Holly jolly.
Holly jolly indeed. Well, Madison, I've got a holly jolly gal over here.
Take my Santa and raise you a holly jolly gal.
Oh, I raise you a Merry fucking Christmas. The obituary, verbatim, Christmas came early this year for heaven because Mary Kathy Christmas entered the gates of heaven on October 10th of 2022. Her name, her first actual name is Merry.
No.
And her last name is Christmas.
No.
Yes, but she went by her middle name for some reason, Kathy. Who knows why?
Kathy.
She was born in Los Angeles, California on October 18th of 1938, and she was raised in Hollywood, California. Kathy lived with her parents in the front house, her aunt, uncle, and 4 first cousins in the back house on a quiet Hollywood avenue. Kathy was the family's golden girl. She shared her special gifts with her family. The whole group was in 2 houses, and outside, friends and family would join together, especially during the holidays. There was never a shortage of food, fun, or music. The highlight was singing with Kathy as she played her piano. She taught her cousins the arts that came so naturally to her. Kathy attended John Marshall High School, and she received her associate's degree from Los Angeles City College, as well as studying at the National Academy of Opticianry. Kathy served in the U.S. Naval Reserves in the early 60s, and she worked on a project to make the lens for the first laser.
Wow.
Kathy worked as a dispensing optician and eventually managed an optical company in Pasadena, California for 21 years, and she also became a member of the Pasadena chapter of Eastern Star and served as worthy matron in the late 70s. In 84, Kathy retired, and she eventually moved to Bishop, California with her best friend, Connie Anderson. She always welcomed her friends and extended family to her home, cooking elaborate meals and continuing the tradition of celebrating life through worship, art, and music. Kathy loved God, people, and her country. In Bishop, Kathy shared her growing knowledge of fishing, camping, skeet shooting, prospecting, and appreciation of nature.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'm like, who's this? How good of friends is she with this Connie
Who's this
gal?
best friend? Is this a euphemism, allegedly?
Who's this best friend she moved to out of town with and went skeet shooting, okay? Now that she had time, Kathy was able to... Sorry, we're going to hell. Whatever. Now that she had time, Kathy was able to pursue her creative endeavors. She painted extraordinary pictures, drew with pencil and charcoal, did intricate beadwork, wrote and arranged music for the piano, and joined the Bishop chapter of Sweet Adelines. Kathy drafted the plans for her dream home and the pergola in her Bishop home. She was a longtime member of the First Presbyterian Church, and she formed close friendships while attending that church. Kathy traveled extensively during her life. She traveled throughout the United States, Europe, Guatemala, and the Holy Land. Kathy's gramps called her Snake Eyes. She always attained what she aimed for.
Kathy, you are a mystery.
She's an enigma. Her family and friends give thanks to God for their beloved Kathy and their denial of her relationship with Connie. Her joy for life and the love of God were infectious and felt by all who knew her. Kathy was predeceased by her mother, her stepfather, her best friend Connie Anderson, and her first cousin. She is survived by her first cousins, and then it lists them. But yeah, it doesn't look like Kathy ever married.
She was funny that way.
She was a little funny that way.
Oh,
but
Merry Christmas.
that was her name. Her real name was Merry Christmas. And I said, well, by God, I don't believe it. But there it was in print. So rest in peace, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
But not to these guys, because it's time for some dumb
Ass?
criminals. Let's do this.
Okay.
Silent night.
Can you play the air horn for me? Okay, thank you. This was from July 15th, 2022 in Dallas, Texas. Mrs. Peggy Saunder, a 33-year-old resident, was...
She was a woman made of resin.
She was rushed to the hospital because she was having severe bladder pains. It turns out her bladder was completely ruptured.
Oh, fuck.
This is because her dumb criminal of a husband set off an air horn in her vagina while she was sleeping.
That was like a prank.
Yes.
Oh my God.
DailyNewsReported.com has a quote from Dr. Kenneth Attenbury saying, quote, air horns are not designed to be used in tight, confined areas due to the high risk of injury inherent with high decibel devices. When her husband, Greg, inserted and blew the horn in her vagina while sleeping, the sound had no place to escape. Pressure would build inside the vagina and shockwaves would pulsate at an incredible rate. The only comparable thing that comes to mind when talking about the sheer shock of vibrations caused by the horn would be being electrocuted by a car battery.
Oh, fuck?
The bladder walls are notoriously thin and are susceptible to damage. The pressure caused by the horn blew a hole in Peggy's bladder, and her husband Greg was arrested.
Wow, so much for our New Year's traditions.
God.
Oh my God. Who would have thought that could happen
know.
now? Sounds very painful.
Sounds fake to me. But I couldn't find like on Snopes.
Well, then it must be real. Okay, I have a Florida man. This is from Newsweek, so it's real. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Credited. Parents attending a Christmas celebration event on Tuesday in Florida, this was back in 2018, were disrupted after a man turned up and screamed, "There's no Santa Claus!" for hours.
Oh my God, he sounds like a bad Santa.
The man, who remains unidentified, decided to crash the Festival of Lights in downtown Cape Coral this week with a giant sign and yell about how parents were lying to their children. Video taken at the festive scene was recorded on a cell phone and first reported by WBBH TV. His screams could be heard as children waited in line to see Santa Claus on the night, earning him the title of a real-life Grinch in local media. One mother told WBBH TV, "Some children were left in tears by that man's diatribe, but luckily her child was too distracted to notice."
I'm sorry. I would come out swinging if someone tried to take the innocence away from
or say that Santa's not real. He is real.
And you're taking their innocence away. Let them fucking be innocent and believe in this shit until they get fucked by the world.
I don't know what you're talking about because Santa's real.
Oh, but we say God's not real. We can't say Santa's not real.
Like, I don't know whose kids are in the car. I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Cindy Menke's, a Cape Coral resident, said, "I feel sorry for that individual. He must have a very sad life. I think it's a shame our children are faced with so many difficult things in this world that the magic of this time of year is taken away from them and they are innocent." That would be my quote, too.
Terrible.
The Cape Coral Police Department reportedly were in attendance at the event, but were powerless to stop the angry protester because it's a freedom of speech issue. The only way officials could have stopped him was if he was using a megaphone or caused a riot. You gotta be a special kind of asshole to do something like that.
Big time asshole. And you're wrong, because yes, you're right, Spencer. Santa is so real.
Yes. My mom always said, if you don't believe in Santa, then you're not gonna get any presents.
Exactly.
Yeah, a real dumbass. I honestly am shocked because I'm so thrown off by our recording schedule that this is the last episode of the year.
Oh, I know.
That really threw me for a loop when I realized that in the beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
Wait a second. Just in case we didn't mention it, we are taking off the last week of December. So there will be no episodes going live that week. But we'll be back the first week of January and are just so excited for a new year with the Geoffs. But that's where we'll leave it. I guess we'll fucking see you in 2023.
Oh my God, I can't believe 2023. We thought there was going to be flying cars
Oh,
by now.
yeah. And instead, Elon Musk bought Twitter and ruined everything. Oh, God. There's a lot I'm glad to be leaving in 2022, but I'm so grateful for this year. So grateful for all of you guys, seriously, for this.
I
Whatever
can't
this
even,
is.
just you guys are our biggest presents.
Seriously.
Greatest present.
Yeah, presents is our presents, and as parents, we couldn't be prouder of you.
We really couldn't. We were just joking about the coal.
I'm really bummed out this was the last episode of the year. I really am. Like, I didn't realize that. I would have put on a number for you all, but maybe we'll find a way to interact with you guys during our dead week, I'm sure. But we'll see you in 2023 and carefree 2023. That's what we're doing.
2023 is going to be the best baby.
Oh, and we're going to see a lot of you.
We sure are.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. You can follow along online at Obituary Pod
on Twitter and Instagram, and Obituary Podcast on TikTok.
You can write to us, obitpod@gmail.com, or send stuff to our P.O. Box. P.O. Box 18149, Long Beach, California, 90807.
And you can get a cameo.
Next week.
Yes.
But we love you guys so fucking much. We hope you have just a magical whatever you celebrate.
And a magical new year.
Yeah. And we're going to fucking come harder, faster, better, stronger next year, baby.
Perfect. Goodbye.
We'll see you next year for some more coffin spinners
Obituaries.
and dumb
Ask
criminals. Goodbye.
Bye.